BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another of my quick reviews, and it would seem this year I have become kind of the sports video game editor for BXB, which is slightly worrying considering I don't know much about a lot of these sports. And here we are looking at NBA 2K18, in which my knowledge of basketball stems pretty much exclusively from NBA Jam on the SNES, and because of that, I picked the Chicago Bulls as my favorite team. Now, NBA 2K18 is a continuation of the long-running basketball franchise that 2K have used as probably their sort of flagship sports title over the last several years, dethroning EA from its position as the sort of premier basketball video game purveyor, because their NBA lives have been notoriously awful in recent years. And 2K sits upon a series of games, a series of releases with a great fundamental gameplay systems, with very realistic simulation-based basketball that reflects the real sport incredibly well. And 2K18 is no different from those games. I've gone back, I've looked at it. I actually played, I can't remember exactly which number it was, but the first 2K to come out on the Xbox One was a game I played because at the time, there were not a great deal of other games available on the Xbox One around its launch, so I even gave that a go when it first released. And this is, it doesn't feel a million miles away from that. I feel like the onboarding is a little bit better than it used to be. The things like the tutorialization and the in-game help systems are better than they were as well, which is great for somebody who's a bit of a novice like me. But the game of basketball is inherently the same. Obviously, being a 2K game, or even just a sports game in the year 2017, that means there is a deep series of Ultimate Team type gameplay systems in place, which involve unlocking card packs and finding new characters and finding new stat boosters and new characters. Oh wow, these are real sportsmen. I feel like I've done them a disservice there. But real players and real things like shoes and courts and strategies. And in this video, you are now watching me opening loads of packs with some of the virtual currency, which I'll be talking about shortly, that was given to me for this review. And yeah, this is coaches and players, and all of that will go into your Ultimate Team. And I actually played around in Ultimate Team for quite a while. I enjoyed my time in Ultimate Team. I like the idea of making up these dream teams of players to compete online or in single player, and that suite seems fully featured and well integrated and just as enjoyable as it's always been, and probably fleshed out more than it had been in the previous years, though obviously heavily microtransactions supported using the 2K VC. And talking about 2K VC, I'd actually had some previous experience with that in the WWE games as well, because they use VC. But in addition to Ultimate Team, we have this thing where you can play as the Ultimate Coach mode, where you can, I don't know, have a story mode about managing an NBA basketball team. I'm not really sure I dug this. It's, from what I can tell, the first time they've tried it out, and there's no real dialogue, and it's all kind of like a choose your own adventure stuff with text, and it's a bit like inside a baseball, well, in this case inside basketball, and it didn't mean a great deal to me. I thought it was a little bit hokey, but I enjoyed it as well. I mean, it was silly. There's a thick vein of campness and daftness that seems to run through the story elements and the presentations of the story elements within NBA 2K18. The other one being your kind of player career mode, where you get to become a pro, or whatever they want to call it this year, where you move up from the proving grounds and you have this sort of big hub world, which is a weird sort of decision there. Get rid of the menus and give you this little neighborhood, as they call it, to walk around and interact with people and have vendettas and have rivalries and have these things where you have to sort of have these deep character interactions filled with hokey dialogue and ridiculous character beats and absolutely mental story turns. I enjoyed that. I just reviewed the NFL game this year, and that has again a really heavy emphasis on the story. And the fact that the NBA game here has got this confidence to kind of lean on humor is quite a nice refreshing change. And as you see here in the video, I'm currently setting out my base skill settings and other attributes for my player. Now, this is something where the VC, the virtual currency, the microtransactions come in to the max, and where there's been a lot of criticism for this game, that the amount of time that you need to sink into it to actually be able to level up your character is inordinate compared to how easy it would be to spend $20 and upgrade your character just with some microtransactions. I was sent the super duper fancy pants, super expensive version of this game for review. Not that I requested it, but that's what I got, and that came with a huge amount of virtual currency included. I think it was like 200,000 or 250,000. You know, monetary values. You know, a ridiculous amount of monetary of actual cash there that would be required to spend to get that amount of virtual currency, and that meant I was able to upgrade upgrade my character and buy the card packs very easily for the Ultimate Team analog here in 2K. However, I think for everybody else, the amount required is a little bit inordinate and a little bit unfair. But that's the direction these premium sports games are going now. These AAA games, these $60 games, everything is microtransactions now. You can still do it without spending any money. Obviously, it's a case of how much, do you think it's time, what's your time worth to you? Are you going to put all that time into the game where that kind of monetary value becomes irrelevant or not? It's a question only you can answer. All I can talk about is that the time I had with NBA 2K18, even as a relative novice to the sport, I definitely enjoyed my time. I loved how campy the story is. I love the amount of customization options. I enjoyed being able to create my own dream team of players using card packs in the Ultimate Team analog. And the basketball itself feels good. It feels more accessible than it has in recent years. It feels very physical. It feels very fast. It feels like it reflects the players and the reality of the sport in a great way, even if all the silly foul rules make it very difficult for me to, really enjoy what I would like from an arcade basketball game, and that is not what this is. However, of course, you can set things to be as lenient as you like on the court or as easy as humanly possible as well, so let's not forget that. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time with NBA 2K18. Microtransaction problems can't be ignored. Some bugs and stuff like that can't be ignored as well, with crashes and whatnot, but though things have become more stable since the full game was released properly and wasn't just in sort of early access for those that bought the most expensive version of the game. So taking in that all into account, I'm going to give NBA 2K18 a very fair 3 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.